Hello, everybody. Let me know in the chat if you can see and hear me okay on YouTube. I'm also going to try and get this going live in the group as well, so bear with me while I do that. I have my iPad set up and I'm hoping this will work. Let's see. If you're in the chat, feel free to say hi. Let's see, I'm trying. Is it not going to work? Let me see. Hello to Jessica, Terry. I see all of you. I'm trying to get this live in the group, so give me just 1 second and see. If I can't do it, I can't do it, but I wanted to so that it would alert people. Maybe. Okay, I think I'm live in the group as well. Let me check and see if this is working, or if somebody can tell me if it's working in the group. That would be great. Okay, yes, I am live in the group. Awesome. Okay, yay. I'm excited this worked. I'm a little bit cut off in the group, but it'll be okay. Let's see in the group. Veronica, Nancy, Kathy, Margie. Yay, okay. I have successfully broadcast myself in 2 different places. Oh, this is exciting. Okay. All right, so I tried to do this pre-recorded yesterday and spent a lot of time editing the video, and then it would not export. I still cannot get anything to export from my computer. So we're just going to do this live, which I kind of like better anyway because I can talk to you guys. And I have a pretty elaborate little setup here. So I'm excited. Tonight we are going to talk about asking for sales every day, because you have to know how to ask for sales every day. If you want to make sales every day, which I assume all of you do because you are here with me. There's so many people watching in both places. Okay. Just trying to make sure everybody is in here. Yes. Okay, good. Everything is working. Okay. I'm super excited. Let me get to my notes here. Okay. So how many of you had the chance to watch the first video from the course? Just show of hands. Let me mute this because it's going to echo. Okay, there we go. Hello to Joyce. Hello to Pamela and Lucy and Lucia. I think I'm saying that correctly. Okay, so I got a lot of messages from you guys about the first video. I wanted to do that video because I felt like it was really important, because I know, as most of you guys know, that if you are not in the right mindset to work for yourself every day, and this is something that I think we all struggle with every day, is being in the right mindset to be productive and to tune out the rest of the world, because anything that can happen will happen to keep you from being productive and doing what you need to do. For example, today I had all of these plans for the day, and then I spent the entire day in the car service center with them looking at my car, and now they're going to have to replace the transmission in my car. So that took up most of my day. And, that's a day lost of work, which is super frustrating, but you just kind of have to keep going. So tonight, we are going to talk about asking for the sale. If you haven't had a chance to watch the first video in the course, definitely go watch it because it's super important. But for tonight, so, I get this question a lot, which is why I started to do this course to begin with, is because everybody's question, how do I make sales every day? How do I go full time? And in order to do that, you have to really treat this as a full-time job. You have to put a lot of effort into it. You will get out of it what you put into it. And I really want you to get that in your head, that you have to want this every day. You have to wake up in the morning, and this has to be a priority for you. Obviously, you have families, you have, some of you have kids, some of you have people you have to take care of, and that's obviously a priority, but your business also has to be at the top of that list as well. Jessica says, I loved how you talked about The Secret. I actually have it as an audiobook right now. The Secret is something that a long, long time ago, I was working in a bookstore. I was working at Books A Million, and I don't know if you've ever been in a Books A Million, but when you go to check out, the cashier is asking you a lot of questions and asking you to buy a lot of things when you're checking out at Books A Million. It's honestly kind of annoying, but so that was one of my first jobs, was working at Books A Million, and we had to sell people these loyalty cards that cost $20, and usually loyalty cards are free. I feel like at most stores they're free. So I was getting super frustrated because I couldn't sell these loyalty cards to people. And this girl, Tessa, who worked there, she walked across the bookstore and she brought me back this book, and she handed it to me, and she was like, here, you need to read this. It will change your life. And so it was The Secret by Rhonda Byrne, and she's absolutely right. It did change my life. It took me from a place, and it really helps me, especially now, go from a place where I was like not getting anybody to buy these loyalty cards. And it really helped me to mentally process how to get people to buy these loyalty cards. And coincidentally, it really ties into what we're going to talk about tonight, and asking for sales every day, because what I had to start doing with that is I had to start asking every single person. So I had to start asking every single person to buy one of these loyalty cards. And did everybody buy them? No. But it was not until I started asking every single person and setting goals for myself that I started selling them. So when I started asking every single person, and I started setting goals for myself, like visualizing a number, visualizing an actual goal for myself, I started meeting my sales goals with these loyalty cards. Because I had never had a job before where I had to sell stuff. And it was, when I was little and we had to do those fundraisers, like I was the absolute worst at those fundraisers. So, selling things, especially in person, for me was a very, very foreign concept. And that book really helped me, and that job really helped me in terms of what we're going to talk about tonight, and in terms of selling things. So, when I started asking every single person to buy these loyalty cards, I started selling them and meeting my goals. So that is really what I want to portray to you guys, where you can take that philosophy on what I had to do in selling those loyalty cards, and you can adapt that into your Poshmark business. So that's what we're going to talk about tonight. We're going to talk about asking for sales every single day, just like I had to ask for a sale for every single person when I was trying to sell those loyalty cards. Okay, so the first thing, we're going to talk about 5 different ways tonight that you can ask for sales every day. Let me make sure the chat's caught up. Okay, so we're going to talk about 5 different ways that you can ask for sales every single day. The first one that we are going to talk about, the first way that you ask for a sale every single day, is listing. So this is your first method of asking for a sale is you have to actually list the item. When you list the item, you're putting that item in front of people. You are putting it at the top of the search results. You are making this item available for people who are searching for it. And it's very important that you try to add new items every single day. I know a lot of people talk about, relisting things and deleting and relisting. Personally, I don't prefer to put a lot of time into deleting and relisting things. And I talk about this in the group. I talk about this everywhere. They told us at PoshFest not to delete items. And I'm not saying, don't ever delete anything ever. But that's not something that you want to make a habit or a priority of, is deleting and relisting things. Because if you have an item and it's older or it's not getting a lot of activity, chances are it's not going to. And I'm not trying to be like negative or anything like that. But if you, and we all have them. We all have items that we bought when we were first starting, or maybe, we just weren't thinking that day, or we were just trying to buy stuff that day and weren't really like processing what we actually needed to be buying. And we all have stuff we shouldn't have bought. So, that happens to everyone. I just don't want you guys to be relying on being able to delete and relist things and not buying new inventory. I've been seeing a lot lately, people posting, asking to hire VAs and things like that. And, that's fine. If you have disposable capital to where you can hire a VA to share your closet or to help you do something that's going to save you time, that's one thing. But a lot of people don't have that disposable capital to go and hire a VA. And especially if you are only at like 100 listings or so, you don't need to be spending your money that you have on a VA. You need to be stocking your store, and you need to be spending that money on inventory. Listing is the absolute number one priority. It's the number one thing that you need to be focusing on, and you need to be focusing on adding new items, not just relisting old items. The only time that I really ever relist anything is if I'm just not happy with the photos of the item. If I know that it's an item that should be getting more activity than it is, I will take the item down and rephotograph it and then relist it. But that is a very rare occurrence. That's not something that I make a habit of doing. My focus is on finding new inventory and bringing in new inventory as often as I can. Because the more new inventory you are listing, the more brands you are listing, the more likely you are going to be to make that sale every day. And relisting old inventory is not going to increase your chances very much of getting a new sale or a sale every day. Heidi says that's so true. Oprah, Jim Carrey, Sting, Richard Branson, Bethany Frankel all talk about visualizing and the principles of The Secret. Yes, this completely changed my entire outlook on life. Like this book, there are two things that I can think of right off the bat that really changed my perspective on things. And it's that book, The Secret. And then Brené Brown has a Netflix special. I think it's called The Call to Courage or something like that. Or Daring Greatly. She has several books, and I can never remember what the Netflix title is. But she has this Netflix special that I highly recommend you all go watch. And she talks about how she refers to the Man in the Arena quote, and she talks about how it's not about going into the arena and winning. It's about the fact that you show up. And that's really what we are talking about in this course, is you showing up every day for your business. And it doesn't mean you have to show up and you have to make, $10,000 in sales a day. But you do have to show up and you do have to try. So if you haven't watched her Netflix special, absolutely go watch it. Watch the entire thing. It is just absolute gold. So that and The Secret by Rhonda Byrne. If you need some motivation, definitely go and watch it. Here, I'll put this in the chat. Brené Brown. I think it's called A Call to Courage. Let's see. Pamela says, is there such a thing as having too much listed inventory? No. I will say, and I'm kind of going through this right now, I do go through moments where I like to go through and purge my inventory. If I'm just sick of seeing it and it hasn't sold, I will go through and I will take it down. In years past, I have deleted it because I didn't know that deleting stuff could potentially negatively impact your closet. So I am going to be a little bit more careful in terms of how I do that this time. But there's no such thing as having too much inventory. Like, think about places like Goodwill and like Plato's Closet. I actually used to work at a resale store similar to Plato's Closet. It was called Style Encore. And just to work there, I didn't work there for very long, but I worked there long enough to see just how much stuff they are actually bringing into these stores and putting on the floor every day. So people bring in just hundreds and hundreds of things a day, and they go through and they buy them and they are tagged immediately and put on the floor. Literally hundreds of things a day. They're putting hundreds of new items on the floor a day. And I know that's a little bit different because we are selling things online. So there's a little bit more of a process than just looking at it, tagging it, and putting it on the floor. You do have to photograph it. You do have to, steam it, do whatever you need to do. But there's no such thing as having too much inventory. You want to have as much inventory as possible. That being said, you also don't have to have thousands and thousands of listings to make money. People ask me that all the time too. Like, what number of listings do they have to get to? You don't have to get to a specific number of listings. You have to just be listing the right items. And I talked about this a little bit in the first video, I think. But if you have somebody who has 10,000 items that nobody wants, and you have somebody who has 100 items that are in demand, that person that has those 100 items can be making more sales than the person who has 10,000. So it's not just about how many listings you have, because having a lot of listings does not necessarily mean that you are going to be making sales. You need to put more of a focus on what you are listing and how you are listing it versus, how many actual items you have. People get really, really obsessed and stuck on, meeting a certain number or feeling the pressure to have so many items in their closet. And that's not what you need to be focusing on. You need to be focusing on stocking your closet with things that people want to buy. And we're going to talk about that more in a different video about sourcing. And we're going to go more into depth about sourcing and the types of items that you need to be sourcing and how you need to be better using your time. But yeah, there's no such thing as having too much inventory. As long as you are using your time wisely and investing in the correct inventory. So don't worry about, don't get stuck on numbers or having a certain amount or anything like that. Don't stress yourself out about it. Okay, so the second point I want to talk about, the way you ask for a sale every day, is sharing. Sharing is a really unique component that Poshmark has. And sorry, my iPad is saying low network connection, but I'm not sure why. My computer's okay, so hopefully you guys on YouTube are good. If you can't see me, let me know. But sharing is a really unique component that Poshmark has in place that allows you to go on and to promote your items anytime you need to. And it's something, I also sell on eBay. So on eBay, you actually have to pay to promote your items. You have to actually pay eBay a fee to promote your items. And pretty much if you don't, your items are not seen in eBay's search result. It's very frustrating. But on Poshmark is not charging you to promote your items. You just have to go in and you have to share, and you have to, manually promote your items, which is good in a way because you can do that anytime you want. and you don't have to pay Poshmark to promote your items. That's not coming out of your earnings. You just have to actually go on and manually do it. So when you share your items, that is putting your items in people's news feeds. So your items are not going into everybody's news feeds at once. Poshmark has this, what they call the algorithm. And so when you share your items, it's putting your items in front of people who they think want to see those items. And, it's not going to everyone, but it's going to people who have interacted with items that are similar to yours and who Poshmark thinks could be interested in buying your items. So that's what the algorithm software does. It kind of picks and chooses who it wants to see your items. But also when you are sharing your items, that pushes your item of that brand or whatever it is to the top of the search results. So if you have a Lilly Pulitzer dress and you share that, and then somebody goes in and searches Lilly Pulitzer dress, that's going to show up at the top of the search results for the people who are searching for that item at that time. So whenever you're sharing your items, that is actually pushing your items to the top of the search results for people who are searching for those items. It's also putting them into news feeds for people who are window shopping, as I like to call it, and just scrolling. It's also, when there's a party, it's also putting those into the party. So sharing is very, very important in terms of getting your items in front of people. Let's see. I don't know why it lost me on Facebook. Because I'm connected in the same place. Let's see. Now I don't know how to get out of it. Let's see. I'm going to click finish. And we'll post it. And then I'm going to do it again. Okay, I'm trying to get back on Facebook, so hopefully it will. Okay, so while that's trying to get back on Facebook, let me read some of the comments. Margie says, treat your closet listings as a store window display. What does the customer see? Yes, absolutely. That's why your cover shots are so, so important. That is why if you, if you have time, I usually try to go in and at least edit the cover shot to be just a little bit brighter. That way it's going to catch people's eye. Let's see. I feel like being in your share groups has helped my sales greatly. Since eBay is poop at the moment, I feel like sharing has pushed my sales forward. eBay is very frustrating at the moment. I didn't really have too many listings up on eBay at the time when all of the madness happened. But there were people that I know who have literally their life's work on eBay, thousands and thousands of listings on eBay that were basically sabotaged by eBay, and they still have not recovered from the eBay glitch. And, this is the busiest time of the year. We're in Q4 right now. This is the busiest time of the year, and eBay very much hurt their sellers, and eBay is having all sorts of problems, which is why I'm thankful to be on Poshmark, because in 5 years, I've never seen Poshmark have any issues like eBay has been having the past few months. So hopefully eBay will get better. Hopefully it'll get better, because there are a lot of people who sell on eBay and that's how they pay their bills and feed their families. And it makes me really sad to see some of the things that I've seen about eBay. Yeah, if it starts getting weird, let me know. My internet on my computer seems to be fine. It's just my Facebook is not working. And it might be because of my iPad. I'm not sure. I'm going to try it again to get back on Facebook. It could just be my iPad and the fact that the video is a little much for the iPad. So do you guys have any questions about anything that I've seen so far or that I've talked about so far? I'm just going to link the YouTube video for the people in Facebook. This is why I wanted to go live in both places, because Facebook is not very reliable with their live streams. Okay. So sharing is going to be your second way that you need to be asking for sales every day. You need to be sharing your own closet. I usually recommend sharing your own closet 3 times a day. That will keep your items circulating and keep them in the top of the search results. And that's your priority. Sharing your items is your number one priority before you go and share other people's items. You know, it's okay to be selfish with your closet. You need to be sharing your own items so that you keep those items circulating, and then sharing other people's items is what's going to help your algorithm, and then those people are then going to share your items back, and it's going to help to get your items in front of more people. But you very much need to be sharing your own items to keep them at the top of the search results, because a lot of people who are shopping on Poshmark are shopping via the search. So you have to put the search as your first priority, and then you worry about your items being in people's news feeds. Let's see. I hope people found my comments. Come over here. With buying at a Dillard's clearance in bulk, I see I need a better variety of brands and items. The more brands you have in your closet, the more likely you are going to be to make daily sales. I have gone through several people's closets where I've seen a lot of people have the same brand, or they go and they buy, like they find a wholesale lot of Victoria's Secret stuff, and then that's the only brand that they have in their closet, and they're not making daily sales because they only have one brand in their closet. So you need to have a variety of brands, and you need to have a variety of the posh markets. The more brands and the more posh markets that you have in your closet, the more likely you are going to be to make daily sales. And it didn't used to be this way. This is why I have multiple posh closets. But now that they have the markets feature, they really push that markets feature, and they want you to have all of these markets in your closet. And I don't have, concrete evidence to back this up with, but I believe the algorithm will favor your closet the more markets you carry in your closet. So, obviously women's is going to be your top seller. So I've seen some people who don't have any women's items in their closet, and they don't make as many sales because of that. But you need to have women's items in your closet. The men's market on Poshmark is growing, but it is a slow build, just because Poshmark used to be just a women's app. So its main audience was established on women and women shopping in their app. So they're doing more to market the app to men, but it is a slow build, and it's just going to take some time for more men to come to Poshmark and start shopping on Poshmark. But their wives will be shopping on Poshmark. So, you want to have those items in your closet for women to buy as well. You need a good mix of everything in order to get the most sales that you can get. Let's see. Somebody just sent me a blank message, so I'm not really sure what to do with that. Terry says 97 Daniel Cream U shirts I bought at a cheap price doesn't help. Yeah, so if that's the only thing that you have in your closet, it's really going to limit you in terms of the customers that you can get, because there's only so many people searching for that brand. So that's why you have to have a variety of brands and sizes and markets in your closet so that you can attract the most customers possible. I really wish my Facebook would work. I'm going to try again. I'm going to restart. See if that helps. You also advise to start selling kids' clothes as well. So kids is very hard. I very rarely pick up kids' clothing. It's not that I don't pick it up, but I'm very, very picky on what I do buy. And I think part of it, like, I don't have kids, so I'm not really used to shopping for kids' clothing. But if I'm going through the new clothing racks at Goodwill and I come across some kids' clothing and it's like North Face or Athleta or Lilly Pulitzer or Lululemon has a kids line. I think it's called Aviva. Something like that, I will pick up the kids brands if I see something like that. So pretty much I go by the same adult brands that I pick up. If I find it in a kids brand, I will pick it up if it's at the right price point. J. Crew also has a kids line called Crew Cuts that I will pick up, just because the J. Crew kids clothes are almost as expensive as the adult clothes. I did find this. It was a costume by this brand called Chasing Fireflies, and they make these really elaborate costumes for kids. And I found it at a thrift store for $1, and I had never seen it before, but it felt really nice. Like when I was going through the clothing rack and I felt it, I could tell that it was really well made and that it was amazing quality. So I just kind of threw it in my shopping cart because it was $1. And then when I got home, I looked it up, and these costumes are like hundreds of dollars, depending on what they are. I didn't have the full costume because they also come with these really elaborate accessories like fairy wings and all kinds of stuff. I just had the dress part of the costume, and I still sold it for like $40. So, do your research and pay attention to the brands. I wouldn't suggest, just going and picking up all the kids' clothes. But if you do happen to find kids' clothes that are really good brands and brands that you would buy in adult clothes, I would pick them up if they are, at a decent price. Just be very, very careful how much you are paying for kids' clothes, because they're pretty hit or miss, and their resale value just does not carry as much as adult clothing would. So just be very careful. I'm not saying don't pick it up, but it's not something that I make a priority to pick up. Let's see. Okay, I'm trying to get back on the Facebook group. I reset my iPad, so I'm hoping this will work. We're gonna try. Let's see. Okay, it looks like the live video is back on Facebook. Chasing Fireflies costumes are gorgeous. I use them for photography clients, expensive sometimes. Yeah, it was a really pretty, I think it was a fairy costume or some sort of like forest creature or something. This was a while back, but I just remember feeling it and I was just in complete shock that it was like a kid's costume and then seeing the retail prices for them. Okay, so I'm back on Facebook now. If the Facebook goes out again, I'm not sure why it went out, but if it happens again, I did post the YouTube link in the group as well. It's posted in the event under the announcements, things like that. So for my people on Facebook, if it happens again, definitely switch over to YouTube for me. Okay. Let's see. I'm a little nervous about stuff in the home market weighing more than 5 pounds and having to pay the extra shipping. Yes. So I had a friend and she had all of these the Christmas houses listed in her Poshmark closet, and somebody came along and bought like 5 of them at once in a bundle. So if you have something like that, you need to put some sort of disclaimer in your listing that says that they are not allowed to bundle those items. And you need to be very aware of the weight of them. So if somebody does start bundling them, then you need to have your notifications turned on and you need to stop them. Because I've already seen it happen. And, I think it's great that we're allowed to sell stuff in the home market now. That just, you need to be, if you're selling stuff like that, you need to be very aware of the people who are bundling stuff in your closet and the weight, and because they had to completely cancel the order and the person did not rebuy it. So, that was a sale lost. It's not something that could have been helped, but just be very careful. Just a Posh ambassador. Most of the new followers are men. Frankly, some of their profile pics are unappealing or creepy. Yes. Okay. So I've had that happen too with a bunch of creepers following me, and I don't like to judge people or anything like that. But I think there are a lot of spam accounts, unfortunately, that are being created on Poshmark. So I don't necessarily go in and block all of them, but if somebody gives you like a bad vibe or if your gut's telling you something, definitely go in and, block them from your profile. If you get weird vibes, just go with your gut. That's the best advice I can give you, is to go with your gut. Kids clothes tend to sell well in groups. I've had success with that. Yeah, if you have, multiple items of the same size or the same brand, and I've seen this with men's dress shirts as well, people selling them in lots. Like somebody will have 5 Ralph Lauren polos or 5 Ralph Lauren dress shirts or something like that. You can absolutely put them in lots and see if you have success selling them that way. And then, if you want to put a disclaimer in your listing, if somebody wants to buy one individually, then they can do that as well. So if you have the quantity to sell in lots, you absolutely can. Bowden for kids. Yes, Bowden. I like the Bowden brand overall, both for kids and for adults. Their stuff tends to sell pretty well. I had never heard of Bowden before I started reselling, but I've done pretty well with it. Tara's talking about the shoe people. Yeah, there are some really weird people who make some really weird requests. So, if you're fine with it, then go with it. But if it creeps you out, you can always block them. Regarding kids' clothing, I would really stick to the brand that Posh shows in their parties. Yeah. So, for kids' clothing, you want to stick to the higher end, the more well-known brands, Ralph Lauren, things like that. Just be picky is the best advice I can give you. Because kids' clothing is really hit or miss, and you need to have Also, as many brands in your closet as you can with the kids' clothing if you're going to sell kids' clothing. Let's see. Back to my notes. Number 3. Okay, so this is probably one of the most important ways that you can ask for a sale every day, and that is offers to likers. This is probably because I come from a time where we didn't have offers to likers. The only way when I first started to give people a shipping discount was during closet clear out. So when they introduced this offers to likers feature, it was a complete game changer for my business. And this kind of goes back to the beginning where I was talking about when I was selling the loyalty cards and I had to start asking every single person. You have to ask every single liker. You have to be aware of your notifications, and you need to be aware when someone likes your item, and you need to send them an offer with a shipping discount as soon as you can. And the most common question I get when I tell people this is about coming off as like a pushy salesperson, and you have to put that out of your mind. If someone is shopping and they are genuinely interested in your item, they are not going to think that you are a pushy salesperson. They're going to be thankful for you sending them an item with a shipping discount. So anytime you get a like on an item, you need to send them a discount with a shipping discount. Let's see. I have a ton of couture dresses for $12.14 Nordstrom. I think you mean kids. Yeah, definitely list them. Nordstrom tends to sell pretty well. Not sure what happened. I just rewatched the first 16 minutes. What was the second thing to do? Eileen, you can click on the YouTube link. I can't go back and recap, but you can click on the YouTube link, which will be in the course, and it'll have the complete replay for you to go back and watch everything. Tara says, I started doing the price drop during closet clear out because for 6 hours only they get $4.99 shipping, which is paid by Poshmark. Yes, it is paid by Poshmark when you do the closet clear out, and we're going to talk about that a little bit later, but you don't always have that. You don't always have the closet clear out. So your main method is going to be offer to likers. And even sometimes during closet clear out, I still do offer to likers just because I feel that more people respond to offer to likers than they do to closet clear out. And I don't know why that is. I don't know if it's something that has to do with the wording of the notification. I'm not really sure. But I make more sales with offers to likers than I do with closet clear out. And, you know, I've priced my items accordingly to where I'm not worried about the $1.80 discount because I have put that into my listing and into the amount of my listing. So whether it's sold via offer to likers or via closet clear out, it doesn't really matter. And I want all of you to get into that mindset as well. If you want to make daily sales, you have to stop worrying about these shipping discounts. You have to stop worrying about the 10% off or the $1.80. You don't want to be losing sales because you don't want to offer somebody a $1.80 shipping discount. You have to price your items high enough to where you can give your customers a significant discount with the shipping discount to where you are comfortable doing that. And you have to really, mentally bring yourself to a place where you are comfortable doing that. And you have to not get frustrated with having to give people discounts because I feel like mentally that really hinders you, and sometimes that keeps you from making sales. And this goes back to what a lot of The Secret talks about as well. You have to believe that you can get this sale. And I feel like when you are sending out offers and offering shipping discounts, and that's sending out like a negative energy, I feel like that's going to reflect back on you. So you have to really bring yourself into a mindset where, you look at it as you are grateful for the feature that allows you to send out offers, to send out shipping discounts, because those are tools. You have to look at those as tools that you can use to make sales every single day. Tara says, having bundle issues when offers have expired and it's becoming a pain. Had to spend time adjusting listings and figuring out stuff. And today I ran into a glitch and I agreed, price high, send an offer. Yes, you have to be sending out offers every day. Like I said, you're not always going to, and you can drop prices publicly, but your number one method of making sales is going to be offer to likers, because that allows you to send out a shipping discount, which is what the person wants. When they see that $6.79 shipping, in their head, that's $7 shipping, and it keeps them from buying things. When you send out an offer with a shipping discount of $1.80, and it brings that shipping from what is in their head $7 to $4.99, that's a huge difference. That's a huge difference in their head of the shipping costs. So you have to use that tool to psychologically make them want to buy your item, because that shipping discount is how you really make that sale in terms of getting them to psychologically accept the shipping costs. Because, we live in this era of Amazon where shipping is free and it shows up to your house in 2 days. And, it's great because we have the priority shipping, but you have to get that shipping as close to free as possible. I personally don't do free shipping unless it is a very expensive item. But, I found that just offering that $4.99 shipping makes a world of difference. Tara says, you have to do the discount too, right? Yes, you have to discount the item at least 10% and give them a shipping discount. And I know that sounds like a lot, but you have to keep your cost of goods low enough and your prices high enough to where you can do that and your customer feels like they're getting a good discount and you are comfortable with that. You can't let that deter you from offering your customers discounts. You have to be able to offer them discounts. I like to discount at least $10. So it really depends, on your cost of goods. And if something like that is hindering you from giving people those discounts, that probably means that your cost of goods is just too high. You have to be very careful in terms of how much you are paying for stuff to where you can price it high enough to be able to discount it enough and make people feel like they're getting a deal on it. Margie says, I've discovered that sourcing smarter has helped overcome that shipping discount. You need to have a good buffer in price. Yes, you have to keep your cost of goods low enough to where you can price reasonably high and be comfortable giving people discounts. You can't be losing sales over $1 or $2. You just can't, because you have to be able. For example, when you see stuff in a retail store, most of the things that you see in stores are marked very, very high, to the point where they could be marked 90% off and the store still will not lose money. So at Plato's Closet, for example, when they have their 90% off sale, if you see a pair of jeans marked at $10, they're now $1, probably means Plato's Closet paid 90 cents to $1 for it. So they are not losing money by pricing those items at 90% off. They are either, making a little bit or breaking even on them. And that's kind of how you have to look at it. So, you can't be going out and paying all these high prices, especially for used items that you are reselling. You have to be buying, you have to be sourcing smart. And then that also being said, you don't want to go out and be doing retail arbitrage. I see a lot of people going out and doing retail arbitrage just to get things that are new with tags. And they could be spending the capital that they're using on getting new with tags items and getting so many more used items that they could be making so much more money on. You don't necessarily have to have brand new items to sell them. Just be smart with your investing and be smart with how much you are paying for stuff, because you don't want to be overpaying for stuff to resell. You have to be very, very careful about what you're doing. Just beginning to understand how giving the shipping discounts makes people buy. Is there a way to change the preset shipping discounts? $1.80 isn't that appealing. No, you have to either do $1.80 or free. They won't let you change the amount that you're able to give people. I only usually 99% of the time do the $1.80 discount, and it helps people to buy. So, don't stress too much over that. The shipping discount is actually that's going to be one of your number one tools in terms of making daily sales. When you see that somebody is interested in your item and wants to buy it, you need to offer that shipping discount. Is there a formula you use for purchasing your items, or do you just use comps? I very rarely use the comps, to be honest. I will look stuff up just to kind of see and gauge the market. But in terms of learning what I'm able to resell them for, a lot of times I go off the retail prices. Because you can't really go on comps, just because you have people who are selling to make a profit, and you have teenagers who are selling stuff off their bedroom floor for $5 just to get money to go to the movies or do whatever they want to do. So, you have to be very careful when you're looking at comps and take that into consideration. If I see something that I feel like I can sell and make a hefty profit on, I don't even look at the comps. I just buy it, because I don't want the comps to get in my head and keep me from making money. I saw a post yesterday in regards to offers to likers as to who gets the offers when you send out offers multiple times on an item over time. I don't remember the specifics, but can you discuss how that works? Okay, so on offer to likers, if you send out an offer and it has 5 likers on it, those people are going to get that offer. If you then have somebody else come along and like the item, you can send out the same offer to that person, and they will get the offer. The new liker will get the offer. And then later, if you want the previous likers to get a new offer, you have to send out a lower offer. So the offer will only go to someone one time. It won't go to people multiple times. And then if you want a new offer to go to people that you have previously sent an offer on, you have to offer 10% lower than the lowest historical offer. What do you consider to be a good price range when purchasing items to sell? It really depends on what it is, but I very rarely pay over $10 for something to resell. You want to pay as low as possible. Jeans I usually pay $6 for. Tops and things like that I usually pay around $4 for. That's usually my range, between $4 and $6. If it's something designer or something new with tags, I'll pay up to $10. But you have to be very, very careful with the resale market, just because a lot of times the retail value doesn't translate to the resale value. So you have to be very, very careful. Let's see. Okay, so number 4 in my 5 ways to ask for sales. You want to be creating bundles for people who like multiple items. So you really want to pay attention to people who are coming into your closet and liking multiple items, because you can go in and you can share the item. This is the easiest way that I have found to do it. There are other ways, but it gets very confusing trying to explain how to do it. If you share the items directly to the person, it creates a bundle for them. You can then go into your closet and go up to the top of the bag, and you can see all the bundles that you've made for people. And then you can go into their bundle and you can send them an offer with a shipping discount. And you can also use this feature, the share directly feature. If you have people who regularly buy from you and you know what they buy and you know what they like, you can share those items directly to those people. For example, when I worked in the resale store, we had a notebook of people, of regular customers that we kept in the store. And, say somebody wanted a Lily dress, size 4. Whenever we would get in a Lily dress, size 4, we would go into the notebook and look and see who all wanted that size of that specific item. And we would call them and let them know that we had gotten in something like that. One time on Poshmark, I had this girl, I like to sell tennis skirts. And she asked me if I had a black tennis skirt in her size, and I didn't at the time. But then 2 days later, I found a black tennis skirt and it was in her size. And so I went in and I listed the item, and then I shared it to her. And then I just left a comment on the bundle and said, hey, I just got this in. I know you asked for this a couple of days ago. I just wanted to show it to you and let you know that I had it. How do we share directly to people? Go like you are going to share an item to the party or to your followers. And right underneath that, you'll see little circles that have people's names. And if the person shows up there, you can just click the circle, or you can type in their username and it will share directly to them and create a bundle for them. So do I send? So I do this and send offer and nothing. Then it expires, and then that is when my head with having to create a new listing. So yeah, and this is why you have to price high enough to where you can discount that item a couple different times, and you can that way you don't have to be creating new listings every single time that you are discounting stuff, because you still have room. And that's another reason that I prefer offer to likers over dropping the price publicly, because you send out an offer to likers. If you get a new liker, you can send that same offer to the new liker without having to go in and make a new listing and re-raise your price. You can still send that offer to a new person, because odds are if you go in and you send an offer to somebody and they either don't accept or they don't counter, they're probably not going to buy it. So you want to be able to send offers to new people, which is why I prefer the offer to likers over dropping the price publicly. So that way I don't have to worry about, I have to go in and relist this item because I dropped the price publicly and I need it to be back up to this price. So that's why 9 times out of 10, I like to utilize the offer to likers. Okay, so my last point is actually going to go into talking more about that, and that is utilizing the Poshmark promotions. So whenever Poshmark is doing a promotion, like make a deal days or closet clear out, you want to utilize these promotions to ask people for sales, because Poshmark is going to favor your closet if you are going in and participating in their promotions. So when closet clear out happens, you don't want to do closet clear out every single time they have it, but you do want to utilize closet clear out as a way to move things that you just need to get out of your closet, that you just need to, they're older items, they haven't gotten a lot of traffic. What you should do with that is you should go throughout the day and share the item as often as you can so that you can accumulate some likers on it that day. And then, towards the evening, go in and do the price drop so that it triggers the closet clear out. And that will hopefully move the item. But you need to drop the price enough to where it gives people an incentive to buy it, especially if it's something, that's a clearance item that you're just trying to move. For make a deal days, you want to kind of space out how you send offers out to people. So, utilize these promotions that Poshmark is doing, because they will reward you with visibility when you participate in their promotions and their activities that they are having, because that means when they do these promotions, that usually means that sales are slow overall and they're trying to get sales higher. Because, if you pay attention to it, like they used to only do closet clear out on holiday weekends, and it's because sales were slow. And, not very many people were listing things, not very many people were selling things. So definitely take advantage of these promotions that Poshmark does and use those promotions as a way to ask for sales. I do this sharing an item multiple times because it's getting the likers. Yeah, so you need to accumulate likers. Your goal is to accumulate as many likers as you can, because the more likers you can get, the more people you have to ask directly for sales. You can share and get your items in front of people. You want people to like your items because that gives you people to send offers to ask for sales. You have to get your items in front of people. Let's see. Okay, so do you guys have any questions on anything that I've talked about in this video or the first video? Anything that I can give clarification on? There are going to be several more videos, and some of them will be live, some of them will be recorded. But I really like doing these lives because you guys can interact and I can address things that you directly want to learn about. I'm glad I got my Facebook people back too. So sorry, we had some technical difficulties with Facebook. There's a good bit of you watching live. That's exciting. Okay, we are over an hour now, and I am doing my social media training at 8:30 for those of you who are in that. So if you guys don't have any more questions, I want you to really start taking what I talked about tonight, and I want you to start making an active effort to use these methods to ask people for sales. And I don't want you to feel like you're annoying people. I don't want you to feel like, you're being that pushy salesperson, because that's how you get sales, is you ask for them. So start sending out offers to likers. Start sharing your items. Really doing everything you can to get your items in front of people and to get them sold. Lisa, this one started at 7. We've been on for an hour. How long should it take you to become an ambassador? Does it benefit you to have it? So becoming an ambassador is really, something that happens on your time. You don't want to stress over it, but you want to be doing the things that are on the Posh Ambassador checklist, because that's what's going to really help your closet and really help you to grow your closet. So don't stress in terms of how long it's taking you, but let it be something that you're consistently working towards. It's not like how long it takes you. It's about being consistent and consistently doing the things on the checklist. So don't stress about how long it's taking you, because everyone has different schedules and how much time that they're able to put into this. The point is to be consistent with it, and that's what's going to help you the most. Lisa, I'm on the East Coast. I am 7 Eastern. But yeah, don't stress about how long it's taking you to become an ambassador. It will benefit you. You'll start to get a lot more followers, and it'll give your closet a lot more visibility. How do you get into your share group? Terry, send me an email to the poshbosshelp@gmail.com. Do you find it easier to do all these 5 steps through a phone or a tablet or computer? I do 99% of my work from my phone, truthfully, just because I've always done it from my phone. So that's just what I do. That's how I go the fastest. Some people find it easier to work from a computer. I do a lot of things from my iPad. I like to share from my iPad because I can go faster on my iPad because it's bigger. But most of what I do is from my phone or my iPad. Thank you, Heidi. I love the law of attraction. I think it's really important. I know a lot of people are like up in the air about it, but it can't hurt you. So, if anything, it puts you in a better mindset. Will there be a link to rewatch this video? I missed part of it. Yes, Julianne, the link is posted both in the Facebook group and it's posted in the course to watch the replay. Closet evaluations. Tara, I'll look for your email. I'll try to get a response to you tonight. Does it matter if you're selling name brand versus generic clothing, or will the outcome be the same? You need to be sharing, you need to be listing brand name clothing. I know a lot of people have boutique clothing and things like that. It's going to help you to get the most sales if you're listing brand name clothing. Erica, the Netflix show is Brene Brown, A Call to Courage. It's Brene Brown. And then the book is called The Secret by Rhonda Byrne. Jessica, the social media is separate. If you want in on that, definitely send me an email and I can get you the details for it. I believe if you put out into the universe and believe you will get it. Happens to me all the time on things. So I can't read the rest of the message. So I agree. Yes, absolutely. All right, guys, this was a great live session. If you have any questions, you can definitely post them in the group for me. If you need to watch back any part of it, any replay, the link is both in the course where you log in and it's posted in the Facebook group as well. So thank you guys so much for being here, especially so short notice. But I will try to announce the next live a couple days ahead so that people can make time to watch it. There's a good bit of you here. So if you're in the social media training next, I will see you in that. And then keep an eye out for some more new videos this week as well. So thank you guys so much, and I will see you later.